Let us now find a solution to a practical problem. I shall read out the problem, then I shall go about explaining how we go about solving this particular problem. Consider an array marks 20 rows and 5 columns, in which the marks of 20 students in 5 subjects is recorded. Write a C++ program to find the average marks obtained in each subject. Number 1. Number 2, find the average marks obtained by every student. Number 3, find the number of students who have scored less than 50 in their average. So what it's trying to tell you here is, look at it like this. I have student 1, okay? This is subject 1, this is subject 2. Let's say he's got 19 1, 17 the next. This is student 2, he's got 18 1 and 15 the next. So what it's telling me is find this average. Find this average, okay? Average of the row, average of this second row. So this is the average for the first student, this is the average for the second student. Also find the average marks of the subject. So I need to find the column average also. So average of the row, average of the column. But in the row, I have one more condition. If the average of any student is less than 50, I need to count how many students have got an average less than 50. So think of it like this. We will not go for a 20 into 5. If it works for 2 into 2, that means 2 students and 2 subjects, it will work for any size. Okay, the important part here is to understand the logic. Let us say student 1 has got 90 and 80 in subject 1 and subject 2 respectively. Student 2 has got 60 and 70 in subject 1 and subject 2 again. Now what I am going to do here is I need to first read the marks of each student row wise. So this is what I am going to do. So I have an array whose size is 20, number of columns is 5. N tells me the total number of students. S tells me the total number of subjects. Then this is going to give me the total across row, total across column, and this is going to give me the average score for the student across like this. So if this average happens to be less than 50, I need to count. This is that fellow who counts how many students average is below 50. This is the variable which will count that. So in the first thing, I am going to ask you how many students. I am going to read into a number of variable called as n. So let us say n is equal to 2. Number of subjects, s is also equal to 2. So number of subjects is equal to 2. Number of students is also equal to 2. Now, since I am simply reading one student's marks at a time, I can use the normal loop to read row by row. So in the first row, I am reading the marks of first student in 2 subjects. In the second row, I am reading the marks of the second student in 2 subjects. So marks ij. So this is reading 90, 80, 60, 70 is the data being entered in this particular array called as marks of students. So marks of students is only going to store the marks for 2 students for 2 subjects. This is how it will really look. Now, first thing is I'm interested to find the average marks of the subjects. That means I want to go column wise and find the average marks of the subjects. Let us see how we proceed with finding the average of the column. So let me place this particular fellow here. All right. Okay. Here it is. It looks good. Okay. So what I am doing is I have taken a variable called as total, which is equal to 0. I won't show you every column. If I show you for one column, you will easily be able to understand it for the next. I is 0. All right, let's move this. I is 0. Okay, j is also 0. Since I is 0, j is 0, total is 0. So total is equal to total of marks of ji. Why I'm interchanging I and j here? Because I want to go column by column, not row by row. So ji both are 0, 0. So it is 0 plus 90. Then j is increased by 1. J becomes 1. When j becomes 1, okay, when j becomes 1, what is going to happen is 1 0 is what? 60. So next I'm adding 60 to this. Once I add 60 to this, the value of j becomes 2. 2 is not less than 2. So this inner loop fails. I am going to come here. Average is total upon n. 90 plus 60 is 150. Divided by 2, it is going to be equal to 75. So the average of this row happens to be 75, which is going to be printed. Now I go back to this loop. I becomes 1. Now for this first column, according to C, first column, so this is this particular fellow, I am going to find the average. Okay, I am going to find the average. 70 plus 80, whatever it is, in the same manner I am going to do it. So you can try for 1 0. 1 0 refers to, okay, here j is the value 0. 0 and 1 refers to 80. So next it will add, first it will add 80, then j becomes 1. 1 refers to 70. This way it will find the sum of 80 plus 70 and give you the 140. 140 divided by 2 is 70. So this is the average for a subject done using this particular loop. Now let's try to find how many students have got less than the average in a subject. So here I am going to print the average of individual subjects. So I am going to print this. 90 plus 80 is 170. 170 divided by 2 is 85. Okay, this is 85. This is average is 65. So let's see if we are getting these values doing this particular logic. So now again I is 0. J is also back to 0. This variable total, let me scratch this out. What I have done with j is I have again made it 0. I am going to show it only for one student. You should easily be able to draw it for the next student. Total is equal to marks of ij. Both are 0, 0. 0 plus 90. Now I increase j by 1. 0, 1 refers to 80. 90 plus 80 is equal to, total is now equal to 170. Average is equal to total upon number of students. 170 upon 2 is equal to, sorry, number of subjects, not students. Yes, stands for number of subjects, is equal to 85, which is exactly the value I am getting here. Since I am getting 85 in both the places, is the average less than 50? No. So I am not executing this if. Suppose a student had got 40 and 50, the average would have been less than 50 and I would have counted this student average as less than 50. Now, it is going to, after it's done this, it is going to print the average of this particular student. So it's going to print 85 for student number 1. Then it goes back here, I becomes 1. Now I go to the next row, 0th subject or subject 1, add it to total. Then j increases by 1. So I add 70 also to 60. 60 plus 70 is 130. 130 divided by 2 is 65. So that average also will be printed. So this is the way we go about finding the average of subjects and average of students. So make an effort to take 3 or more subjects, take 3 or more students, draw a neater table, not like what I have done a big mess, draw a cleaner table and then try to flow through the logic and see how the values are calculated. Really simple. This is not, the first one is nothing but sum of rows. This is nothing but, the first one is sum of columns. This is sum of rows. Except in sum of rows, you need to see where the average is less than 50. If the average is less than 50, you need to print a count of how many students that average is less than 50.